Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Rose, and on this channel we talk about everything personal growth. From mindfulness to manifestation, psychology to spirituality, I bring it all together for you guys to help you raise your vibration and level up into the next version of your being. So today's video is what to do with your insecurities part 1. There's so much for me to talk about when it comes to dealing with your insecurities, and so there's no way I could possibly make it into one video. So today's gonna be part 1, and there will probably be like a bunch of other parts. But the first step is to, instead of talking about if you have insecurities, it's to understand what you're going to do with your insecurities. Everybody on this planet has insecurities, and the first step is to admit that to yourself, which is an extremely hard step. I know it was really hard for me, especially because I'm a Cancer sun sign, which means I have this very hard shell, and I don't like to come off soft. Like, I like to come off like I'm very put together and I don't have insecurities and like I'm perfect and like all this stuff. That's like kind of what Cancers are known for, is this like hard, intimidating shell. And so for a long time, I played into that role unconsciously. I didn't really know. And then I started to realize, like, okay, yeah, I have insecurities, but like I don't want to talk about them. And then I started to be like, wait, I need to talk about them. I need to look at them in order to release them and let them go and heal them. And so the first step is just getting comfortable with the fact that you have insecurities, which, like I said, can be extremely hard to do, especially if you're a Cancer sign. And just in this world in general, you know, we live in a world where it's a weakness if you have insecurities, it's frowned upon. We have, 5 million things that you can do to cover your insecurities up. And it's really weird if you don't cover your insecurities up. And it's kind of frowned upon if you're someone who just talks about your insecurities and is open about them and like is fine with them and is like that awkward person who like makes fun of themselves, not in like a critical way, but in a way that's like, yeah, I know I have insecurities and I'm like okay with it. And so it's kind of switching the norm, right? It's kind of like understanding that it's actually not healthy to keep pretending like you don't have insecurities and to keep doing those things that you do that cover up your insecurities. And so that's really what step 1 is about, is first asking yourself, what do I do to cover up my insecurities? Because I'm going to answer the question for you. You have insecurities, and it's okay, right? It's safe. I'm here to tell you that it's safe to have insecurities. It's okay to have insecurities. And if you think that it's not okay because you think other people out there don't have insecurities and you're like the odd one out, just know that you belong. Like, you are okay because you have insecurities, and every other person in the world has insecurities. They might just be covering them up well. Like, they could be doing a very good job of covering their insecurities up. And so I'm here to tell you that I have insecurities. Everybody has insecurities. I know you have insecurities, and it's okay. It is okay to show up in a space and admit it. It's very challenging at first, and you don't have to admit it to anybody else, right? It may not seem safe to admit it to anybody else right now, but slowly and surely you can admit it to yourself. You can admit it to your journal, right? And because you have insecurities does not mean anything is wrong with you. I really want that to be a clear point, because I remember when I was first admitting to myself that I have insecurities, I was like, well, that makes me bad. Like, that makes me wrong. That's scary, right? That's uncomfortable. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but you're not bad because you have insecurities. And that's, like I said, that's just kind of a paradigm in our society that if you show up having insecurities, that makes you weird, that makes you different, that makes you wrong. And it's actually the opposite, right? You are normal for having insecurities, and it makes you more relatable, and it really, it kind of lets this massive weight off your shoulder. At least it was for me. When I admitted to myself that I have insecurities, I was like, whoa, I don't have to cover that shit up every day anymore. I don't have to play into the role that I'm perfect anymore. I don't have to play into the role that I got it all together and that there's, I don't have anything that I don't feel uncomfortable about. And so when you do that, it's like, okay, I can actually be myself. Okay, I can actually speak my truth. like I can just show up and I can worry less about what other people think about me. I can worry less about if other people are going to see that I have insecurities, and I can just be like, yeah, I have insecurities. And it's okay if you see that I have them, because you seeing that I have my insecurities doesn't mean that I'm wrong or that I'm bad or that I'm not good enough, right? It just means that I have things that I'm working on that I'm not comfortable with, right? So that's really work, right? It's work to get to the place where you're comfortable enough to admit to yourself and to others that you have insecurities. But I promise you, it's a massive weight lifted up your shoulder, and I'm really excited for you to get to that point. If you haven't been to that point already, you will feel this massive relief, and it's so amazing, and it's just like really, really profound. The other thing is that your fear of your insecurity is actually much bigger than your actual insecurity. And I'll talk more about this in the next parts, in the next videos, but for now, just know that your insecurity isn't as scary as it seems. The resistance that you have towards your insecurity is actually much bigger, and is actually egging on your insecurity much, much greater than what is actually going on with the insecurity alone. So just know that for now, it's a lot less scarier when you admit that you have an insecurity, because the resistance starts to dissipate and disappear, and then we're left with something that has a lot less resistance to it. So I want you to answer the question, what do you do to cover up your insecurities? Now, this could be a range of different things, and it's different for different people. You could dress a certain way to cover up your insecurity, right? You could talk a certain way to cover up your insecurity. You could, have a specific job to cover up an insecurity. You could be friends with a specific group to cover up an insecurity. And so you could do all of these things. It could be little things, it could be big things, it could be things you do on a daily basis, or things that you do once a year. And it's things that you do to fit in, to feel normal, to feel like you belong, because, like I said, a lot of society is telling us you don't belong if you have insecurities. And so you have to start to understand the paradigm that you've been playing into for maybe years, maybe decades. You've been doing these things in order to do what you think is acceptable to fit in. And the first step is acknowledging what are those things that you do, listing them out, and then starting to slowly stop doing those things and replacing those things with things that actually resonate with your being, things that actually make you feel good, things that actually make you feel good and not have to worry about what other people think of you. And like, you're kind of in your own world of not like worrying about if other people are going to reject you, because that's a lot of what our insecurities come from, is like, okay, like, is someone going to reject me if I don't wear this outfit? Is someone going to reject me if I talk about God and they're not spiritual, right? So you have to start to understand the things that you do, where you do them, how you do them, when you do them, and know that, so you can catch yourself and you can become more aware of it when you do it. This might seem like it's like really getting into the nitty-gritty, but our insecurities come up all the time in little ways and in big ways. And if you really want to heal them, you have to get to know them. And so, like I said, you have to understand what you do, when you do it, how you do it, and just getting comfortable with the fact that you actually do it. So that is the first step. I know I'm leaving you with a lot. I hope this is super helpful for you guys. I will be back with more videos to help you understand what to do, right? Now that you are starting to understand your insecurity, what do you actually do with your insecurity? And don't worry, you've already started that process unconsciously, and I'll be back with more videos to help you further that process. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning into today's video. And if you're interested in diving deeper into your insecurities and into your blockages, please click the link in the description below, where I offer one-on-one holistic life coaching sessions, energy healing sessions, and guided meditations. Have a blessed day. See you soon.